that low. One of the reasons is that the cost of writing exams is high. This is well known to everyone. And then the frequency of the examination. There are two major bodies that we know in Nigeria. We have the IFOA and the SOA. The IFOA has just 2 windows to write exams. So if you have 2 windows only, and you can write a maximum of, let's say, 2 per window, that's 4 in a year. Let's plug in the failure rate. So let's assume that you are able to pass 2 in a year, and you have, let's say, 14 papers to write. So it will take you about 7 years on the average to pass, just because the frequency of the exams is not that high. The SOA is a little bit better. For the SOA, you have many more windows for examination. So one of the reasons, and then accreditation too. Accreditation is also a major reasons why we don't have high numbers. Many of the universities in South Africa, and then we have a few in Egypt, have aligned their programs with professional exams, and that gives the students or the graduates advantage at the point of graduation. So that quickly, increased their numbers, and we know that this actually concerns us. Professor Ayanride was one of those that went to Kenya to develop their actuarial science, and today, Kenya is far, far, far ahead of us. This is a professor that's actually left our department, like on a loan, to Kenya, and then we have, Kenya performing ahead of us. We also have other reasons why that figure is that low. So our concern and our area of intervention can be in the accreditation. So we know that if we align our program with the professional bodies and are able to secure accreditation, the curriculum will be improved, and then it will also force the staff to upgrade and update their skill, in addition to giving our students that skill set that is required in the industry. So that's why we chose the accreditation pathway as a way of making our own contribution to ramping up the numbers. But we chose the PG program as our first program that we align with the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries. The PG program is very flexible. We don't require the NUC approval, for changing curriculum. And of course, the PG program are in full control of the university. So in 2017, specifically, the head of HR of AXA Mansard, alongside with Teju Scott, came to our department, and then they asked, what can they do for us to improve on our side in terms of producing graduates that are industry ready and also attract accreditation. Along the line, Teju Scott handed over to Jola, and then the journey continued. We had several meetings, and then AXA volunteered to pay for the cost of accreditation, but they wanted the university to commit to the accreditation by paying £500. The £500 is for the application, and then AXA volunteer to pay the full accreditation fee. So we were able to apply in 2020, and then in 2021, we finalized the program after back and forth with the IFOA team. And then there was a requirement by the IFOA that we need actuaries to be part of the teaching faculty. And they just don't want any verbal commitment, that they want a written document that connects us with the actuarial body in Nigeria. And then we had an MOU between the University of Lagos and NAS. So NAS volunteered that any given time we'll be having minimum of 5 actuaries on our program. And ever since, NAS has kept that commitment. So, and then in 2023, we were able to secure the accreditation. And then in January 2024, IFOA gave us the go-ahead to commence. And then the PG program, that is the MSc Actuarial Science program, was fully accredited. But if you look at the numbers are not that promising. If you look at our projection, that we have maximum of 25 students on the program. At the end of the day, if we are able to have 3, 4, 5 of them securing different levels of accreditation, at that rate, we might not be able to do much moving forward. So we looked into the BSc program, and we consider that as the future. So we are currently working on the BSc program. We have submitted our application to the IFOA team. I know they are visiting us on Friday, and I know the process will be long, but we are ready to see it through. From the BSc program, we are very, very sure that we'll have the numbers. Our youth are very, very smart from our experience. Once we're able to encourage them, and they know what is ahead of them, and they know what is at stake, we know that the numbers will be attained. So that's the future of the department. And the closing remark. We know that there's a lot of responsibility on the side of the academia. Things are changing, and things are changing very, very fast. But if you look at the students that we are bringing in, the students hardly, apart from the University of Lagos, we hardly have students that are applying for actuarial science as their first choice. So that means the awareness is very, very low, even at the secondary school level, for students to choose actuarial science as their preferred course. So we are ready to work with stakeholders to take actuarial science to the grassroots. Yesterday we were celebrating Abdul. We know that the industry like plucking the fruit, but as a university, we plant the seed, and we want you to be part of us in selecting the right seed to plant. If you plant the right seed, you get the desired fruit that you want. So let's work together. At the end of the day, we'll all achieve the goal.
Thank you very much. So we've got a brief announcement about somebody's car. Hang on.
Yeah, a black Camry car, LXD 28JU. I think one of your windows is one down. You may want to check. Black Camry, LXD 28JU. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So if you, Professor Adeleke, if you stay here because you're going to be on the panel, I just want to give a brief introduction for Dr. Nas. Dr. Nas is an associate professor and an immediate past head of the Department of Actuarial Science at Federal University Dutse, with a PhD from the University of Cape Town. He's over a decade of experience in teaching, research, and academic leadership. Currently, he's part of the prestigious Actuarial Faculty Development Programme. Dr. Aminu has contributed significantly to actuarial education in Nigeria, published widely in applied mathematics and actuarial modelling, and serves as a reviewer for several international journals and actively mentors students. So he's going to, if he'd come down, thank you, everybody. So he's going to give a brief presentation, and then we're going to have the panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Distinguished guests, members of the Nigerian Actuarial Society, professionals, fellow colleagues, good afternoon. I'm honored to be here today representing the Federal University Dutse, and in particular our Department of Actuarial Science. I must sincerely thank the Nigerian Actuarial Society for this opportunity and for its unwavering commitment to promoting actuarial education and awareness in Nigeria. Today, I'm happy to share with you the journey, progress, and impact of actuarial science program at Federal University Dutse, and how it contributes to creating value and building resilience in our evolving economic landscape. To begin, let me briefly highlight how far we have come. The Department of Actuarial Science at Federal University Dutse is one of the few departments in Nigerian university offering actuarial science program, and was established in the year 2018. Since then, we have seen gradual growth in student interest and enrollment. In 2018, we admitted only 25 students. Today, we have over 152 students enrolled in the program, a significant growth that signals the increasing recognition of actuarial profession among young Nigerians. Our program was fully accredited by the National University Commission, NUC, in 2022, and we have seen graduated 2 sets of BSc Actuarial Science students, and by December this year, we look forward to celebrating the graduation of our 3rd set and first ever set of BSc Insurance graduates. This progress has not been achieved in isolation. It has been made possible through meaningful collaboration and timely external support. Through collaboration with Nigerian Actuarial Society, we secured verification by educational experience accreditation for selected courses from the Society of Actuaries, SOA. This makes us the first Nigerian university to receive such recognition. Thank you, Mr. President. Similarly, thanks to the NAS and financial support from the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries, IFOA, I was personally enrolled in 2024 Actuarial Faculty Development Program, a 1-year intensive program initiative by Actors Learning, UNDP, and Meliman, aimed at enhancing teaching capacity in core actuarial areas. We also commend the Director of Actuarial Standard at Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria for their timely initiative, including Catch Them Young and Nigerian Actuarial Development Program, which are focused on building capacity and awareness for actuarial excellence in Nigeria. The Director's personal dedication to supporting actuarial training and awareness in Nigeria deserves special recognition. Together, NAS, FRC has played a foundational role in building strong base of actuarial science program in Nigerian universities. Despite those achievements, serious challenges remain, and they must be addressed to ensure long-term sustainability. First, we face a critical shortage of actuarial faculty, that is lecturers in the core actuarial area. Our most recent recruitment exercise could not identify any PhD holder in actuarial science, risk management, or insurance. Second, awareness of actuarial profession is very low in Nigeria, especially in the core north. A recent survey we conducted among senior secondary school students in Dutse local government, Jigawa State, Nigeria, revealed that less than 20% had ever heard of actuarial science. Even more concerning, many university lecturers teaching mathematics and other quantitative courses in our university are unfamiliar with the field. Third, and perhaps the most pressing issue, is cost. The path to becoming an actuary is not only academically demanding, but also financially burdensome. Professional exams are costly, not just for students, but even for faculties in Nigeria. This financial barrier continues to hinder the development of actuarial capacity in Nigeria. At this point, we have to appreciate the effort of SOA. Just yesterday, they provide us with number of exam waiver for some of our student writing exam P or PM. Thank you. The gaps have far-reaching implications not just for universities, but for Nigerians' capacity to manage risks in increasingly uncertain economy. We strongly commend Nigerian Actuarial Society, Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, SOA, IFOA for their effort, but we must do more together to ensure long-term sustainability. Despite the odds, because of time, we at Federal University Dutse remain committed to training the next generation of actuaries, professionals who will help build resilience in our financial, insurance, and public policy system. Thank you for your time. We look forward to future collaborations and discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So if you want to join the panel, take a seat. You can take the microphone with you. Okay. So we've got some additional people to join the panel. We've got Dr. America Iro from the University of Benin, Head of Department of Actuarial Science. If you want to come down. We've got Tega Williams, lecturer at Redeemers University, which is in Ocean State. Thank you. And we've got Francesco Salou, an adjunct lecturer at the University of Lagos at UNILAG, and head of Risk and Capital Management, Product Innovation and Development at ICO. And we've also got our NAS president, who's also going to join the panel. And it's going to be moderated by Mr. Lanray. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to the panel discussion. I don't know how much time I've been given, ranging from... Okay, it's showing 0 minutes now, so I guess my time is done. Thank you, everyone. Oh, 25 minutes. All right, okay. Yeah, so our panelists have been introduced, and my name, as you may be aware, is Olanrewaju Bidapo. I'm almost tempted to be wearing two hats here, one as a panel moderator and as a panelist, being one of the adjunct lecturers, but I'll just sit as a moderator for now and allow everyone here to take the lead. Thank you for joining me. So we're going to be speaking on actuarial education, where we are and where we're coming from, and where we expect to be in the nearest future. And Dr. Nas and Professor Adeleke, they've actually done justice to it by giving us some initial feelers as to where we are and where we've been coming from. So I'll just take Maybe a question that we already said something about. What would you say is the state of the actuarial education as it is in Nigeria? Where we are, what the challenges are, and maybe what the challenges and what the state of the education is. Jola, would you want to take the first one? And then.
Can you go over that again?
Okay, so I asked the state of actuarial university education right now in Nigeria and what the challenges are presently.
Okay, thank you. So from where I sit, and I don't think I'm the best to speak to this, but from where I sit, I think that we still have a long way to go. As of today, we should have a very large pipeline of students or future actuaries. But what we have today is also what we are seeing the results in the industry. So we have that very, very small pipeline. We have very limited schools offering actuarial science. And just some minutes ago, I was approached by a professor of mathematics saying that our net is probably not wide enough, as there are students who have the critical skills to succeed in actuarial science that we are not also bringing into our net. So I think that is first in terms of the pipeline development. In terms of the quality of the education itself, I think that there's also room for improvement, especially because the way the professional qualification is structured is we are supposed to align our curriculum to the professional exams, not just for the purpose of passing the exams, but for the purpose of producing very, very quality industry-ready professionals. So I think that because of that, we still need a lot, or we still have a lot to do to align that curriculum to the actual education requirements. I'll stop there so that others can answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Jola. I intentionally made you start first because you're going to be talking from your view as the outsider, outsider in terms of an industry person. So, Professor Adeleke, would you like to take what you think the state is, at least from the angle of an insider, and the challenges you're facing?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I fully agree with Jola's position. As the receiving side of the supply chain, we are in the business of producing graduates that are expected to meet the minimum standard of the industry. We know that the inputs that you have a great impact on the output. The input here means students that are motivated to study actuarial science. We have a great role in determining the overall standard or the overall quality of the graduates. On the side of the curriculum, recently the NUC introduced the new CCMAS, the new core curriculum academic standard. And they have given the university to add 30% of the components, and these 30% are supposed to be jointly developed by the industry and the academia. From the side of the University of Lagos, we did exactly that. NAS will confirm that we share the curriculum with them, and we also shared with other stakeholders. So the curriculum, as we speak now, has been improved, and then we are also working on ourselves. When we say ourselves, we mean the faculty. So the university is also working on improving the skill set of the faculty to meet up with the new realities. Majority of us, myself as an example, I did statistics up to PhD level before venturing into actuarial science. I was not aware of actuarial science until I was done with my PhD and my supervisor said, do you know what? You should go and apply your skill in actuarial science. And that was the beginning of the journey. So I see many of us, many from other universities having that issue. Although the University of Lagos have gone beyond that, so we have lecturers that have BSc up to PhD in actuarial science. But having that mix will add to the quality of the product at the end of the day. Yes, to answer your question, we are not there yet. We are not meeting the requirement of the industry 100%. We are working towards that. I assure you that in the next years, you guys will come back and say thank you for adding value.
Thank you so much. So, it says in the next few years, so I'll be holding your word to that. So we can start counting now. Thank you, Professor Adeleke. Dr. Emeka, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So my question is, we know there's a very huge difference between what you learn in school and literally how you apply it in the industry. School is theory, then the practical is there. From your view in the university, how do you think that the university can engage more professionals, both within the industry and the financial sector, to enable the students to have more practical hands-on learning even before they go back to the field after they are done with their university education?
All right, thank you very much. I think on this, the one we discussed yesterday, when you look at it from the angle of the students while they are in school, going for internship and all that, although University of Benin presently, we're not doing that because when we developed the CC it was hurriedly done, so to say. So a lot of it was done in-house. So those from the industry were not involved in the development of the CC So we don't have any internship, although the students are coming up to us to say, oh, we'd love to go for internship and all that. And again, in Benin City, a lot of the insurance companies, there are not so many insurance companies there as part of the challenges we're having there, compared to Lagos State, where you have a lot of insurance companies. So I think it would be very nice if most of the insurance companies outside the University of Benin we can have avenues for our students, because sometimes when our students also leave and say they are coming for internship, they also have challenges from the angle of the insurance companies incorporating them or allowing them do internship. Sometimes they also tell them that duration, because if you see for the past few years, after COVID and all that, there's been this rush to finish sessions and all that. There's been 2 sessions sometimes in a particular year. So students don't really have that 2-3 months holidays for them to actually go for internship, so, and most times when they go to the insurance companies, they tell them that, oh, we can't take you in for 4 weeks or 6 weeks. So I think going forward, where the insurance companies, should do more by accepting our students, during internship, and also try and make stipends available for them, because there's also that complaint of, oh, even within Lagos State, when some of them will tell them, oh, go to Lagos, there are a lot of insurance companies there, you can get places for internship and all that. And they tell you that, oh, the cost of translation and all that, that they don't give them stipends, or what they give to them is too mega. And based on that, they actually can go for internship in those places. So I think if that can be incorporated, that will go a long way to helping the students get those knowledge before leaving the university. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Emeka. So it's all about the benches, like we say. If the insurance companies and the financial sector, they are able to get these people, either help them to realize that it's not only about the money they get now, to get more hands-on experience, such a way that it will be useful for them in future, then we may have better hope of getting them. Thank you, Dr. Hero. Very, very insightful. Now, Dr. Nas, I'm actually asking you this question because you're from the core north, like you said, and you quoted something when you were speaking that we have, and when you went to the secondary school in Dutse, the local government, you had about less than 20%. I was impressed, actually, even though it's something small, but I wasn't expecting that much. But now, that brings the question, what steps can we take to make actuarial education more accessible to the people there, core north? So I'll be asking you that you're aware of how it's going there. So what do you think can be done to make sure that people over there, they know what actuarial science is and we build the eagerness such that they can want to get involved even from a very young age?
Thank you very much. I believe the shorter answer is awareness. Because in reality, in the core north, like I said earlier, even the lecturers that's teaching courses that are relevant to actuarial science has never heard of the word actuarial science. Because I received call from like 2 universities in the north, Bayero University, Kano. They have staff there, even in maths department, but they are not aware of the program actuarial science. It is now that they heard of the name and they want to start the program. And based on the based on the system in the country, all they believe is actuarial science is just about management or accounting. Because as we start, our department consists mostly of experts from management and accounting background. We don't have a single mathematician or statistician, talk less of actuarial science. So the bottom line is on awareness. Our people are not aware of actuarial science as a program or as a profession. So we have to work hard to make sure our people in the core north, even at secondary and tertiary education, are aware of actuarial science program. Let me give you another number. Do you know that out of only 1 out of maybe 20 of the students we admitted has applied for actuarial science as their first choice? They don't know it. We have to call them, convince them. This is a very good program. You have opportunities. So the reality of the matter is we have to go back to the bottom line and inform our people about awareness. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I think that's almost like the trend you see in the university. And when you go study a course and they tell you that I didn't pick it, now so then give me. So actuarial science is not that course that we are literally begging. Yeah, I wanted to study accounting. I wanted to even study medicine, but they believe that actuarial science has to do with life. So yeah, you can do actuarial science. Just go there. Well, we hope it gets better. Thank you, Dr. Nas. Very clear. So, Mr. William, over to you. So, the world is a global village.
Yeah, thank you very much. As Dr. Mansa said that...
Oh, are you answering his question yet?
No. I was thinking maybe I should continue from where you stopped.
Oh, I wanted to give you a customized one, don't worry. But if you have something else to add to... If you want to... Okay, I wanted to give you a customized one because it looked like somebody has been following trends. And so I wanted to give you a question on trends. Hope you don't mind. All right, so the world, like we say, is a global village. We see a lot of things everywhere. We hear a lot of things about Gen Z, the millennials. Sorry, this is not a bash on Gen Z. Don't worry, you guys are safe. And we have on the Gen X. What is important to each set of people is quite different. But what it tells us most importantly is that times are changing and we must change with the times. Now, the question is this. What trends do you think or do you see that are emerging in the actuarial education and even the actuarial professional space? And how do you think Nigerian universities can adjust to these trends as they change so that we don't become obsolete?
Thank you very much. In my case, I studied actuarial science at the University of Lagos. And then I'm not aware of XOA and IFOA. So your interest is just a little bit in actuarial science. But as of now, my students in most universities, as soon as they come in, they want to write EXO exams, they want to write IFL exams. So that's the trend. So my focus is not to have a BSc in actuarial science again. They're also looking at becomes a qualified actuary. Now, in most universities, all the students we have presently are focused in writing EXO and IFL exams. At least I can say clearly that one of our students participate for the NAS qualification exams. And among the top 5 base, one of them actually was picked to be sponsored by NAS to write exam with him. So these students now actually have focus to become an actuary. So that is the trend. The trend is not only based in actuarial science again. They have more information. They go on YouTube. They watch the promising future of the actuarial science profession in Nigeria, how actuarial science is going. So they have that idea. So they probably sample the lecturers and kind of, oh, this guy is not teaching us actuarial science, he's teaching us something else. So in that part, they look at those who actually have that interest in actuarial science and seek for counsel. Just like when we're in school, we don't actually have that much focus on actuarial science. But these current students, the Gen Zs and the rest of them, they can go online to search for information. And if you teach them certain things that is not correct, they can really just tell you that what you're teaching is nonsense. So as a lecturer, you have to follow the trend in that part. So I'm very, very happy that as far as we are concerned in actuarial science, we try to follow the trend of ensuring our students write the SOE exams or IFL exams for exam P and FM before they actually graduate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. There's so much unpacked, or to unpack from that thing that is, one thing is clear though, it's like, it's changing. There are a lot of things that people want to see from their lecturers. Gone are the days where it's only the lecturers that are grading the students. Right now, we see the students grading the lecturers. They won't be able to say anything because their GPA is at stake, but they would actually see, oh, I can get more from this lecturer and I can get more from this lecturer. So it means that we also have to be on top of our game. Thank you, Mr. Tega. And Mr. Soliu, you work in the industry. And as an adjunct lecturer in the University of Lagos, you interact with the students. So the question is, how do you think we'll be able to check the employability of these students that we are churning out from the universities? And how do you think we can improve the employability such that when they finish, they can hit the ground running in the companies where they are working? It's one thing for you to learn how life contingency works. It's one thing for you to also know that you can get the probability of somebody dying, but you don't know precisely who's going to die. So there's no point trying. So how do we ensure that the employability is top-notch, and what improvements do you think that we are going to be able to make?
Thank you. For me, it's more about practical, right? That's all. I mean, I've had a lot of engagement with the students. They are quite smart, right? But then we still have this culture, this la cram la pour kind of thing that you just have to cram and put these formulas in your head and everything. However, from my FOA's perspective, over the time I've written exams for FOA and SOA, it is not really about how much you can cram formula. I mean, you have your table there, your book there, the yellow book there. It has all the formulas you have. They don't need to cram it. The question is, how can we apply? How can we practicalize this? So for me, I think the straightforward answer is just have practical experience with them. If there's need for you to use the spreadsheet to build models right in front of the student, understand how these parameters are linked to each other, how we feed in assumptions into spreadsheets, what is the implication of messing up with one or two assumptions, so they can know what they are coming to do in the industry. We are not playing in the industry at all. We are really serious in the industry. We don't want actuaries that will come and under reserve or over reserve. We want managing directors to always speak high of us, and it's very important over time that standard has to be kept. So I think for me, we just need to open up our laptop with them, show them what the models are all about. Let them build models, but very importantly, let them build models, because if you do not build models, you won't understand what is going on in it most time. So that's it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mr. Saliu. So personally, when I hear spreadsheets and everything, it sounds fancy. It's almost like I should spread my sheets and sleep off and rest. Because when you're done with the day's work, that's all you want to do. But you need to practicalize all these things. And please, you have your LinkedIn. If all of us use LinkedIn and all these things as much as we use TikTok, apologies, we will probably learn quite a lot from it. And this may be to everyone. Social media is a tool. If you think you can teach via TikTok, why not? And if you know that LinkedIn and all these things are your things, please, people coming after you, they want to learn these things. So it's very important that you are open to teach and you are also open to learn, because that's what we do as actuaries. Thank you, Mr. Salim. So we are almost done. So I will just ask Professor Adeleke a question, then Jola will actually round off. So we know actuaries. We like writing, we like calculations and the likes. Whether people understand what we are doing is a different story entirely. We just do it all the way. So which now comes to solving practical problems where research comes into play. So from your view, what are the research opportunities that you think are available, and how can we bring in more people to come into the probably academia, maybe the part-time basis or even an adjunct, and do research in such a way that they solve practical problems that may not be totally related to what they do in their workplace? How do you think we can achieve that?
The university encourage collaboration. At the departmental level, we are always open to the industry challenging us with problems, and then the problem can be jointly researched into. That opportunity is there, and then the industry too should be open to the academia, making contribution. Of recent, I'm aware that the mortality table is about to be built. I contacted yesterday that, look, make sure that the academia is involved in this building, that I have a PhD student that I want to second. Not that I want to just come in because I don't have anything to do, but we feel that once that table is built, there has to be continual mortality investigation. Do you not have to bring in consultant all the time to do it? Let us have a PhD student to monitor, to see how this table is built. And then at the end of the day, we would look at the model and also consider all possible models that could have been used. And then on our side, we will be doing our academic gymnastics at the end of the day. But you will have built an expert in-house, and that expert will be there. That expert will build another expert, and so on. So that collaboration has to be there. So you have to build the trust in us that we can do it. Okay, and then we too are also open for you to come in to collaborate.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, actuaries, we are taught to be good at collaborating, but that's one part that we barely do. Not all the problems you seek to solve will be applicable in your office and where you work. Most of them, you have to put it in the academic space and will help. And you may be solving problems that you don't even know exist. It may just be hypothetical for a start, but you may be solving some very serious questions. Thank you very much, Professor Adeleke. Now, over to you. Our final question. I think we are out of time. So the final question to Jola, as the president of the Nigerian Actuarial Society, there are a lot of people here who probably want to start writing exams. They're probably in the university, but they've always heard one thing, actuary self-study. Actuary self-study a lot. The question is, how do we deal with this self-study when I don't even understand what I'm doing? So the question is, what are the support services for students that the Nigerian Actuarial Society have in place such that we can improve the learning outcomes both for students in the university and actuarial students outside the walls of the university?
there are lots of initiatives that NAS is currently championing. And as someone who did self-study almost throughout my actuarial education, it's no fun. It's very, very good to have someone to bounce things off. So what we have seen in these current times, people who are actually very interested. So you have a number of people trying to study for a particular subject. So one of the initiatives, we have the tutorials that we can learn from as students. We have the university education. Professor Adeleke has just presented the master's program. Aside the tutorials that NAS actually organizes, I know that there are tutorials in the universities as well. We have champions. Hopefully we have not blocked one of them, but we still have champions that are left organizing tutorials. Another thing that we are now trying to do is, even the trainers, we are going to set up, from our collaboration or from our discussions yesterday, a platform where the trainers can collaborate. And if the trainers are collaborating, I think that the students can also bounce off ideas. It's creating that space where students, trainers, industry professionals can come to collaborate. And I think platforms like this, events like this, help us to even learn more. I got out of a meeting some minutes ago, and I'm thinking there is one country where their universities actually have access to profit. So the students actually learn how to use them before they graduate. I have never used Prophet in my life. But why am I saying this is, now I'm seeing ways that in which we can support this shared learning among students, amongst instructors. And those are the things that we'll go back to as NAS to go and implement. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. He's looking at me with bombastic side eye. I don't know why, but it's trying to make me realize that it's probably on my plate to do what I'm telling him to say. So, yeah, well noted, point taken. So out of my own benevolence, I've been told that I can take like one or two questions from the audience so that I won't just be the one asking all the questions. So is there any question you want to throw? Feel free. It's a safe space. You can ask your lecturer's question here. We're good. Okay. Yeah, I think. Yes, please.
My question is on the accreditation process. Like I said earlier, my department hosts 2 programs, and there was a release by the Nigerian University Commission. I don't know if you're aware of it, that they are going to stop accrediting some professional bodies. Just a few was mentioned on that guideline policy document. So, but luckily for me, for the Chartered Insurance Institute, they had already paid, and they have to allow us go through the accreditation process. So if we are talking here that we want to improve the actuarial profession and welcome on board these 3 sets of professional bodies to make our work more robust, then I think that I wish was here. Our regulators must have to see NUC, because we need the support to take accreditation. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the VEE now, if you apply to your university, they will say, no, do it yourself as a department, and we're not going to support you. So you have to either go to the industry or begin to source for money to do it. But for my Chartered Insurance Institute, for my insurance department, I was lucky to get it approved, which is on the way, so we are about to do it. But after which, subsequently, we have to fund it ourselves So the industry must be ready to assist. The regulators must be able to, regular on this thing. And even the professional bodies that are coming here must be aware that we have this challenge because of the payment of the students and maybe sponsorship, but it is there. In fact, if I say I'm having accreditation, they say, how? It has been cancelled. About 3 weeks ago, the thing came out.
Okay, I guess that's a comment for us to take away from our side. So I think it's still the collaboration which we're talking about, both from the regulatory side, the professional bodies in-house, and even from fellow institutions. So point taken, ma'am, and I think that collaboration has to really improve. Thank you so much for the comment.
I think we've got one very short question, and then we can move on to the next session. Okay.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Oluwaseun Elere. I would want to ask if, just to support some kind of enlightenment about the actuarial profession at the grassroots level, because if I hear like the medical sciences and maybe insurance that is gaining tractions more than actuarial sciences, if there is a level of enlightenment at the grassroots level, I'm sure the lecturer there would not have the reason to explain to a student that have been admitted what actuarial science is about, and like almost selling actuarial science to someone that has been given admission. So what I'm saying is going to the secondary schools and doing some kind of media kind of campaign or media enlightenment about actuarial science as a profession and what is in it for people in secondary schools. Maybe that would make people to either choose actuarial science as a first choice course, or when they are given these courses, they don't have to start thinking about what it means or seeing it as a mistake being in that profession. That's one thing I want to ask if maybe the NAS, in collaboration with partners, can try to achieve. Then secondly, for students who are current undergraduates in the universities studying actuarial sciences and insurance, I don't know if the actuarial, the NAS can also help in creating what I can call student corner, kind of, that brings actuarial students from all universities across Nigeria into a common platform where there can be collaborations on that platform. You can listen to them, understand their needs, even design programs that are tailored to their needs. Maybe like some of these applications that, well, we don't even know of while we're in school. They can know about it, maybe not putting them through that process of learning to use it, but students who are actually serious about this journey can actually do self-learning, do researches on them, become aware about them. I think that's something that I want to talk about. And then maybe thirdly, is if the NAS has some kind of program that brings lecturers in actuarial science departments in universities in Nigeria into a common platform. Because beyond just teaching the subject, maybe there are some skills of that today's actuaries, graduates would need to become like ready for actuarial jobs, rather than waiting to get into the jobs and still finding their feet in the actuarial profession. So just a way to support the thank you.
Thank you very much. I know we're going to be able to answer some of that when the NAS CEO does a presentation, I think, tomorrow. But if Mr. Jolla or Londre, if you want to comment on anything very briefly in response to that.
So I think the FRC is already supporting with enlightenment in school. Even before the FRC started, Larry is our education chair. I know he visited lots of secondary schools just for that campaign. However, one thing Dr. Olowo mentioned that I really liked was that we now don't have to make this voluntary. If we partner with or even bring on board the Federal Ministry of Education, and it's made something maybe compulsory for you to learn. First time I heard about actuarial science was through guidance counseling in secondary school, and maybe it was because my grades were very poor. They had to tell me to go and see someone to talk to me, and that was where I stumbled on it. But I think if it's made something more compulsory through the Federal Ministry of Education, I think that will go a long way. But we're already doing that awareness campaign through NAS, through NADP of the Financial Reporting Council. I think on the other one, we also, the Insurance Committee of the NIA also talked about hackathons that they're organizing. I think the CFA actually does that. I know some schools that are part of it. You develop use cases, you develop things, you submit to CFA, they grade it. I think Unilag has actually been winning that competition for quite some time. I think we can also partner with the faculty to develop something. You don't even have to be an actuarial science student. As long as you can participate, students can come together, develop a model, develop a solution, and then you can start learning the practical things that we do in the industry. Professor, I don't know if you want to support on that, but that's all from me.
Okay, just a final thing from my side. Moving around universities and moving around secondary schools actually takes a lot of resources, and I'm not talking financials now. I'm talking about human resources, so we need volunteers. NAS needs volunteers. If we reach out to you, please, we need you to come on board to help us. Because if I need to go to 6 university or 6 secondary schools in a day, I won't be able to do my 9-to-5 job. So please, we're imploring everyone to join the cause and volunteer so that we can create this awareness that we also crave. Thank you so much, everyone, panelists. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for listening.
Okay, please can I welcome, thank you very much to the panel, and then moving on to the next session, please can I welcome Mr. Ibrahim Babalol. He's the CEO of ETAP, or ETAP? ETAP. It's an award-winning Canadian-headquartered Surtech company with operations in Africa, including Nigeria and Ghana. And prior to his role at ETAP, he served as CEO at Klein, overseeing mobile banking infrastructure for several Tier 1 Nigerian and German banks, and contributed to the introduction of contactless payment systems in Nigeria. He commands a broad professional experience, having worked in commercial and investment banking, as well as launched and cited successful ventures in payments and prop tech. Additionally, he has advised fast-growing African-focused startups, investors, and subnational government MDAs as a business advisor and strategy consultant. Ibrahim currently sits on the board of fast-growing private companies and an NGO providing free medical insurance to families at the bottom of the pyramid. He has featured across local and international media, including CNBC London, MSNBC, CNBC Singapore, Al Jazeera, CNBC Africa, and the BBC. Please give him a warm welcome. He also has quite a controversial topic. The actuary must die. So I'll hand you over. Thank you. Have you got you need to copy? Yeah. Can you hold? Take that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Good afternoon, everyone. Nobody's smiling. Kingsley thought that this would happen, so he recommended that we came with a bouncer. in case we have to run out of here. So we didn't quite come with a bouncer. But I've spent the last 30 minutes mapping out all the exits in the room. so you know, we can figure it out. My name is Ibrahim Babalola. I am CEO at ETAP. We are a leading insurance technology company operating in Nigeria. We, just like the name of the company, we believe that insurance in Africa should feel as easy as taking a picture. I just saw Joy here, and you know, remember that he owes me a response to my email, so please reply my email. I've spent the last 2 minutes trying to get people smiling, so I can see that that's working. So Kingsley, maybe we don't need to run. And by the way, if at the end of this we still feel the need to beat someone, Kingsley did the presentation. Kingsley's in white, that guy. Anyway, my presentation is the Actuary Must Die, which is strange to be presenting to a room of actuaries. But it is the truth, so, you know, I said it anyway. The version of the actuary that has existed, you know, over the last maybe 70, 100 years, particularly in Nigeria, you know, the gatekeeper, the spreadsheets wizard, you know, people in the last panel were talking about spreadsheets and models, you know, so these are experts, the masters of premiums, the masters of reserves. I think that version of the actuary must die. And I'm here to invite you to a funeral, but also to a resurrection. You know, so stay with me. We've left the. We think that there's going to. I don't know if you can see the slides because there's a lot of light, and the slide is quite dark. Is there anything we can do to that? Perchance? No? Okay, so we'll figure it out. Anyway, this slide is supposed to be talking about 3 deaths and 3 rebirths, because over the presentation, we're going to go through that. I've left this slide blank on purpose, again, just after Kingsley said that we might need a bouncer, so I thought, you know, I'll use this slide to gauge the mood and see if there's a need to run away at this point. Can I go on? If you would like me to go on, can you please indicate by raising your hand up? If you think that the actuary must die, can you indicate by raising your hand up? Okay. No, nobody raised their hand up. So I'll ask that question at the end of my presentation. I think that we need to see 3 deaths and 3 resurrections. The first version of the actuary that we think must die, and obviously there's a lot of bias on my side to insurance because that is the space that's, you know, that we're in. I think that the actuary that waits for data, you know, that says bring me 5 years of loss ratio and I will model what happens, right, in the future. Or bring me 5 years of loss ratio and I'll model the truth. I'll bring you the truth. You know, it used to work in London in the 70s, you know, but not for Nigeria, not here, not now. Nigeria is evolving faster than ever before. Our streets are informal. Our economy is informal. 2/3 of the Nigerian economy is informal and undocumented. But our risk is real. Our risk is invisible for the most part. So it means that a lot of times, just historical data alone would not help us model the risk and be able to quantify it. And at the time where the old actuary that must die doesn't get the data, they're unable to model what they can't measure, and they just model what they can measure and ignore the rest. We think that the actuary must die and be reborn as a data forager, right? The new version of the actuary must say, if the data doesn't exist, I'll go get it. Must look for new versions of data. Things like modeling driving behavior to calculate risk for driving insurance premiums, for example, right? As opposed to just the number of times that previous customers had made claims. So new direction for finding and drilling data, from different places, from telco signals. How many cars are pinging a telco tower, for example? How many people are going to a market? What does that mean for their life insurance? How do we look at market patterns to be able to model risk? How do we get data from WhatsApp groups of Okada riders and use that in building our models? The new actuary doesn't wait. They build, they forage, they invent new ways to see risks in real time. The second debt that we believe that we must see is the actuary that solely optimizes for profitability. The actuary says our loss ratio must not exceed 45%, because that's what makes management happy. Have I lost the room? Can I continue? Yeah? Okay. People are nodding their heads, but it's not believable. So I think that people are still trying to decide where they stand. But stay with me. We think that it's cute when an actuary says that our loss ratio must not exceed 45% in a country that significantly needs to deepen financial protection, right? Where people are one accident away from poverty, where people are one flood away from displacement, where one fire can cause, trade and the market to lose everything, to lose their source of livelihood and everything that they worked for over the last couple of decades. Whilst, the actuaries, the guardians of risk, are sitting in air-conditioned rooms trying to protect profitability for the companies. We think that version of the actuary must die and be reborn as a social architect, right? That says that my job is to optimize for profitability as well as help people bounce back. And how do we model that? You price protection and not just premiums. You design products that can be bought by the mass market, understanding that a larger subset of the population are significantly below the pyramid, which means that you also have to be able to design products that they would be able to afford, they will be able to key into, and ultimately be exposed to financial protection. And you go from just modeling the risk of death, for example, and modeling the risk of being forgotten, right? Because there are millions and millions and millions of Nigerians that the biggest risk is the risk of being forgotten. Forgotten by governments, forgotten by employers, forgotten by the economy. We think that that's real value, and that's resilience. The third death that, how does this, my clicker isn't clicking. Thank you. the third debt that we believe that we need to see is the one of the actuary that sits at the end of the process. That's the actuary that gets the call after the product has been built, right? After the developers are done writing the code, after the marketing team has picked the price, after all the decisions have been made, and then they say, oh yeah, I'll come and calculate the premium, you know, and then you'll use the claims data and historical losses, etc., to, you know, to build a model. We think that actually must die and become a systems builder, one that essentially co-creates with product managers within insurance technology businesses, as well as traditional insurance companies. We believe that, you know, a system builder that co-designs with engineers, that co-designs with business managers, etc., right? That asks the fundamental questions around how should this insurance product fail? What will the user trust? Where will the risk hide, right? And how can we ultimately protect people in a way where they're not just building models, they're not just updating spreadsheets on a computer, but they're building systems that work, systems in motion, systems that are working in motion in crisis and in chaos, which I guess are the three symptoms of building anything in Nigeria: motion, crisis, and chaos. Still have a lot of time, and nobody's chasing me, so. I still have a lot of time, nobody's chasing me, so I think that's good. Since what we think that must happen next, are we together? I just need the room to say yes. Thank you. So my fellow professionals, we believe, and this is something that we hold dear in the organization that I lead, that we cannot keep optimizing, you know, policies and financial services for the 2% that already have insurance, for example. And we need to redesign the entire industry in a way that it optimizes for the 98% that have never been touched by any insurance, right? If we stay the same, you know, they say insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result. If we remain the same, if we do not evolve, if we do not encourage these deaths and the rebirths, actual science in Nigeria will become irrelevant, really. And some conversation in the last panel, you know, was alluding to that, where people sort of fell into it as opposed to looked forward to going into it, right? So it needs to be something where we reborn it and it becomes a lot more important, a lot more part of the process. And the goals and objectives of an actuary also evolves. And when we evolve, we'll become indispensable. And ultimately, the takeaways that I would like for you to, you know, to go with are that we need to be more inventive. We need to be more radical in our approach. We need to find risks in the places where we're not looking at right now. We need to be more human, more inventive, more Nigerian, right? And not necessarily take models and approaches from America, from Canada, from United States, and build for the local Nigerian markets with the nuances of the local Nigerian markets. That actuary must die, the actuary must die, so that a new one can rise. Not to protect the past, but to build a future where, you know, 200 million Nigerians are no longer invisible to risk. We believe that the Nigerian Actuarial Society must lead the funeral of the old profession and create a new class of actuaries that will be builders, that will be storytellers, data nomads, product hackers, and ultimately be a part of the whole engine and not a tiny part of the process, right? And start building for the 50 million Nigerians that have never touched an insurance policy or being exposed to financial protection. Thank you very much. Now I'll ask, don't clap yet. Don't clap yet. Now I'll ask a question that I asked at the beginning. Put your hand up if you feel like the actuary must die. The old actuary must die. Oh, now you can clap. Thank you very much.
Questions?
Okay. I wanted to run away.
Hello, do we have some questions? I can see yesterday's hand.
I would answer the one I can answer. I'm not getting paid to be here.
We're not paying anybody to be here.
The one I can't answer, I'll give to the president.
No, thank you very much for your presentation. I thought it was thought-provoking. I did hustle into the room just to make sure I heard about it. Your title was quite provocative. But I think there are aspects I agree with. I've always said and maintained that the actuary needs to be a well-rounded actuary. It's not just about the numbers. You need to understand the commercial environment. You need to understand, if you're going to be paid the big bucks you're demanding, you need to be able to be part of the solution to earning those big bucks. Now, I think the actuary also needs to work in an environment where they traditionally, and even with, however you think about it, they're technical, they're numbers. They get influence from the people around them. My question to you is, how many of us are you influencing with your ideology? How many of us are you helping to have a different view of what the world might be like?
Ooh.
So it's a good question, an important question. This one I can answer. As much as we can, and as much as I can, we're trying to reimagine how we do a lot of things beyond just actuary. So we're taking the evangelism everywhere. It's hard because a lot of people are comfortable in the current and comfortable in the old, and not necessarily as open to, I guess, change. It's also more difficult where somebody that hasn't studied actuarial science is coming to tell you that you must evolve. Laura, I think, coming to tell you that you must evolve. So, sometimes people hear and sometimes people don't.
I don't have a problem with you telling us